Hi, I'm Morgan, and this is my how-to video on how to make strawberry fruit and oat squares. You always start by washing your hands and making sure that your hair won't get into what you're making. I'm using this cookbook because when you're baking, it's always best to make sure that you have the exact things. Even if you think you know a recipe, you can always get it wrong. So I have this just in case, and I have everything I need. So I have flour, and I have quick oats. I have brown sugar, doesn't matter if it's dark or light. I have ground cinnamon, salt, baking soda, butter, and strawberry fruit preserves. You also need a 9-inch baking pan. Doesn't really matter what kind of oil you use to spray on to make sure it doesn't stick. You need a 1/3 cup measuring cup. You need a 1/4 measuring cup. And you need a 1 cup measuring cup. You need a spatula, a butter knife, a 1/2 teaspoon, a 1/4 teaspoon, a fork, and a full measuring cup. You have to start by preheating the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Bake, and it's already at 350, you press start. That's how you preheat it. Then it says that we need to spray our 9-inch baking pan with our nonstick oil. Caps. And then we leave it. That's good. Then we have to take our flour, our oats, our brown sugar, our baking soda, salt, and ground cinnamon, and you have to measure them out. It says that we need 1 cup flour, so we do it. Use the butter knife, spread it across. You might need more. Take a big scoop, and then you spread it across to make sure that it's full. You add it into the bowl, like that. And then you need 1 cup quick oats. So take the oats, pour them in over the bowl in case you make any messes like I did with the flour. Even it out to make sure it's the right amount. Pour it in. Then we need 3/4 cup. So I'm going to do 3 of these 1/4 cups brown sugar. It will be chunky, so you've kind of got to go a little bit over to make sure that it equates to... Why won't it come out? And then take your spatula and you pack it in, making sure it's packed. Then, once again, you pack it in. And then it says that we need half teaspoon. So we take our half teaspoon of baking soda. So you put it in, and you lift it up the side, get the right amount, and you pour it in. Then it says we need 1/4 teaspoon salt. So we turn the little nozzle so that it's on the pour. And we pour it in until it evens out, and we pour that in. Then it says that we need 1/4 teaspoon ground cinnamon. So you take off the whole lid because the sifting won't help. Put it in, and you scrape it, it's even out, and you pour it in. That's it. And you mix well with a fork, because that's what it says. Make sure to crush all of the brown sugar clumps. And when you're done stirring, it should look like this. These little clumps here, they're okay because it'll just melt in your mouth when it's done and ready. And we have picked up the ingredients that we no longer need. And we now need 1/3 cup of melted butter. So we take our stick of butter and we find the 1/3 line, or about where it is, and you cut along that line. This is the extra, and this is the 1/3 cup. You peel off the wrapping because we don't want to eat that. You put it in there, and then you put it in the microwave until it's melted. And when it's done melting, you pour it in and continue to mix it with the fork. And remember, use a microwave safe cup, like glass. Don't put in metal or plastic, because those are not microwavable safe objects. And you want it to be a little bit clumpy, not a whole lot, just a little bit, like what's right here. You want to make sure it's all incorporated. Okay, and when we're done mixing, it should look like this. And then you want to take your 1 cup and scoop out about 3/4. So not quite all the way, but more than half. And you're actually going to put it back into that butter container that you used to melt the butter. Then you take what's left in the bowl and you pour it into the sprayed 9-inch baking pan. And you put it, and you make sure it's all evenly spread. Then you press it down with your fork to pack it in as much as possible. When you're done, it should look like this. And then you bake for 5 to 7 minutes or until browned. Alexa, set a timer for 6 minutes.
6 minutes, starting now.
Remember always to put a pot holder on your hand so that you don't burn your hand while you are grabbing it. And always have one of these so that you don't hurt your counter space. And it should be going off any minute now. There it is. Alexa, stop. You open it. set it on your circular thing. You close the oven. You can take this off now. The oven. And then you take your preserves and you take the lid off. And according to this, it says we need to take out 3/4 cup. So we have a 1/3 cup, and you use your spatula to take out each one. Say a little bit more. And you put it right on top here. That's one. You need 2 more. 1. Then you take your spatula and you spread out your preserves along the top of your pan. And then when you're done with that, you then take this, the stuff that you put to the side before, and you sprinkle it on top the crust. You don't have to use all of it if you don't want a really thick top crust. See, there's still some at the bottom, but you can use all of it if you want to. Then you use your oven mitt again. Put it back in the oven. For 20 to 25 minutes. Alexa, set a 20-minute timer.
20 minutes, starting now.
And when that goes off, we'll check it. If it's done, we take it out. If it isn't, we can put it in for a little bit longer. Okay, so I've taken it out of the oven, and as you can see, the crust on top is crispy and brown, and along the sides, you can see the preserves bubbling, and that's exactly what we're looking for. And you want to get one of these spatulas, a metal one, so that you can cut it. But we're going to wait for it to cool so that it's easier to handle. So we've taken it out of the oven and we let it cool so that it wouldn't be a really hot mess to take out. And take your metal spatula and you insert it along. Then you change. You go back. You go back on that line. Try to scoop it up as straight as possible. And here you see 3 cut out and dark mistake. And then when they're completely cool and they're not goopy, you can pick them up with your hands. Since they're still goopy, I'm gonna use a fork. Just cut it through. Okay, that was my how-to on how to make strawberry fruit and oat squares. But you can use any flavor of fruit preservatives and make any flavor of fruit and oat squares that you would like. And thank you for watching my how-to video. I hope you learned something. And please go and try to make this, and you can tweak the recipe to your liking.